Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. CBS Sports presents the Los Angeles Rams versus the Atlanta Falcons. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully along with George Allen. The Rams coming to Georgia looking for the 7th consecutive NFC Western Championship, and they open up with Ferragamo at quarterback.
That's the correct decision. If you don't start Ferragamo, you break his confidence. He had a pretty good game against the Falcons. He should understand their defense. Now, if he doesn't do it, you come in with the experienced guy, Lee, who has bailed him out of 2 ball games.
The Rams beat Atlanta, but they beat June Jones. Now they're going to be looking at Steve Bartkowski.
They should be a stronger team because Bartkowski can do the play-action passing real well. He can throw deep. He has a little more experience.
And William Andrews should be the running back, just 68 yards away from 1,000 for the year. With all that in mind, let's go down to the field and get this one underway. The Rams and the Falcons. And as you can see in the middle of the field, the captains for Atlanta, with you see Mitchell, Brazina, Lewis, along with Van Note, and for the Rams, Youngblood and Brooks, Saul and Jodat. And the Rams have won the toss of the coin. So the Rams win the toss, elect to receive. Bob Frederick, the referee, Lou Pelosi, the umpire. And there is Lehman Bennett. Bennett, whose record against his old club, the Rams, he is 2 for 2. He beat them in the season opener in 1977. He beat them on Monday night in 1978. And then, of course, went to Los Angeles and lost 20-14 this year. So Lehman Bennett, who was 4 years the Rams receiver coach, he's only 40 years old, and the UPI Coach of the Year 2 years ago. On the other side, Ray Malavasi guiding his Rams to 1 victory away from the 7th NFC Western Championship. Malavasi and the Rams bothered so much by injuries throughout the year, and here they are just 1 away. So the Atlanta Falcons with Tim Mazzetti ready to kick off, and the Rams trying to get the jump on the Falcons. The middleman for the Rams deep will be Eddie Hill. He'll be flanked by Ivory Sully on his left and Jim Jodat on his right. So we're just about ready to get it underway. The Rams have won 20 of the 26 meetings. Atlanta has won 4. There have been 2 ties. The last time the Rams won in Atlanta, they won 30-14 3 years ago. And Tim Mazzetti ready to kick it off for the Atlanta Falcons in 49-degree weather, bright sunshine, not a cloud overhead. And Mazzetti's kick is high but short. And Eddie Hill will take it on the 9 to the 25. Upended at the 27-yard line. Ray Strong, number 25, was the man to hit him. Now let's take a look at the Rams offensively. A big day for Vince Ferragamo with his running backs Wendell Tyler and Cullen Bryant. His receivers, Billy Waddy and Preston Denard. The tight end is Terry Nelson. Up front, Branson Hill, Saul, Hara, and Slater. And the Rams putting it in play now. 1st and 10. The ball on the 28-yard line. Denard is wide right. And it'll be Cullen Bryant testing the Falcons, and he's hit by Brazina and falls to the 30-yard line. Take a look at the Falcons defensively, and they have been pushed around a bit. Yates, Fomina, Fields, and Smith up front. The linebackers, Kuykendall, Pennywell, and Brazina. At the corners, you have Lawrence and Bias, strong safety Ray Easterling, and the free safety Tom Pridemore. So it is 2nd and 8 for the Rams. The ball on the Los Angeles 30-yard line, just the start of the ball game. Waddy is right and Denard goes left. And this time it'll be Wendell Tyler making his cut across the 35 to the 45, dragged down across midfield by Roland Lawrence. However, he picked up the 1st down by plenty.
Well, Wendell Tyler's a big play guy. They run strong side. Good block by Cullen Bryant. No penetration. Poor defense on the strong side. Wendell makes people miss with his moves. Almost broke that all the way. Injury on the field.
The player down is an Atlanta Falcon. And for Wendell Tyler, he picked up 24 yards on the play. Standing on the sidelines is Bob Lee, 11 years in the league. In 1973, Bob Lee was the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons and led them to their most successful season, 9-5. Then he turned around the following year. They were 3-11, and he was off to Minnesota. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Atlanta Falcons and the National Football League is prohibited. We have a moment to remind you while Dewey McClain is down and slowly being assisted. 5 teams have gained 400 yards or more against the Falcons this year, including New Orleans and San Diego the last 2 weeks. Only one other team in the NFL has allowed 5 400-yard games, and that's Green Bay. So the Falcon defense has been porous, to say the least. And one reason, they've recorded only 8 sacks in their last 8 games.
And McClain just went in that down. I think they were playing pass. It was 2nd and long, and that's why they didn't get across. No penetration. Actually, the Falcons are 14th against the pass and 13th on total defense.
So the Ram offense should get fat today. It's just a question then of what the Atlanta Falcons can do against the Ram defense. So here comes Vince Ferragamo with Denard going left. And in a slot left, he has Billy Waddy. The running backs are Tyler and Bryant, with now Ron Smith is in motion to the right, and it's the second man, Wendell Tyler, and he is hit right at the 45-yard line. Robert Pennywell hit him first, Fulton Kuykendall hit him again, and down he went.
That particular play, Cullen Bryant led through with the blocker. The I formation is a set for Wendell. I don't think we could see it, but Wendell was really carrying that ball loosely, waving it around then.
Coming into this game, he has rushed for 830 yards, so he has an outsized chance of getting 1,000, but he has to be explosive, especially today. So Wendell Tyler, been in a slump. He's averaged less than 3 yards a carry now in the last game against Minnesota, and he goes in motion. Ferragamo will put it up for the first time, a fake, and then to Bryant. And Bryant will be hit and brought down by Pridemore. Pridemore hit him at the 42-yard line. They have to get down to about the 37 for the first down. So Tom Pridemore, number 27, who had once had a tryout with the Dallas Cowboys 3 years out of Bowling Green. He's important. You know what he did last winter? Pridemore was a page in the West Virginia legislature. So it is 3rd and 6. Dewey McClain hurt his right knee, and it's questionable whether he'll return. 3rd and 6 on the Falcon 42. Both backs release, and Ferragamo over the middle, juggled, intercepted by Roland Lawrence. He took it away from Ron Smith, and it's Lawrence being chased by Kent Hill, and Kent Hill, who went to school at Georgia Tech, saved an Atlanta touchdown.
You know what they did that time? They faked the blitz. See them pull out of there? They faked the dog and covered with 7 men and rushed with 4. The ball should have been completed. Ron Smith had his hands on the ball. Lawrence got the deflection. Now he makes a good return.
So a 38-yard pass interception play by Roland Lawrence, and it's 1st and 10 on the Ram 26-yard line for Steve Bartkowski. He has Andrews and Stanback, is hit by Elmendorf as he gets across the 25 and falls forward for 2 yards. We can duck in an early score, and it could be a shocker. Cincinnati on Kenny Anderson to Archie Griffin, a 52-yard pass play. They're leading Washington 7-0. So Ray Malavasi saw Ferragamo not so much intercepted. The pass was just juggled by Ron Smith and taken away by Roland Lawrence. A big play to make it 2nd and 7. The ball on the Ram 24. Jenkins is right. Francis is left. And Francis in motion. Bartkowski over the middle to Andrews. And Andrews down at the 12. Bob Brzezinski made the tackle. First down for Atlanta.
Andrews looked pretty good on that. We were concerned whether Andrews was going to be able to play, but he looks like he's got his quickness. His strength is his start and his quickness. He looked pretty good on that. Looks like he might be able to play the whole game.
So they picked up 15 yards following the interception. It is 1st and 10 on the Ram 11-yard line. Andrews is the setback. Stand back is a wide receiver, and they go slot left. And here goes Andrews looking for daylight, and the Rams pinch him at the 10-yard line. A reminder, Andrews comes into this game needing 68 yards to become only the 12th player in history to rush for that many during his rookie season. And boy, would he join an illustrious company, starting way back with Beatty Feathers and up to Otis Anderson this year. Malavasi hoping that this Ram team, leading the NFC in rushing defense, will be able to choke off the Falcons.
82, Reichman just came in the ball game for standback.
2nd and 9. The ball is on the Ram 10-yard line. Rickman is inside Jenkins. Francis in motion. Bartkowski getting a rush from the outside, and an attempt by Andrews to one-hand it, no good.
Well, it was the same play again. Andrews checks and then comes across the middle. Same type of play. Bartkowski was rushed and overthrew him.
So it'll be 3rd and 9. The ball on the 10-yard line. For Bartkowski, in his 5th year with the Falcons, and would you believe he has only 3 career decisions against the Rams, all losses, and he's really only played about 5 quarters against them all that time. Bartkowski has 16 touchdown passes this year. That's his best. So a big 3rd and 9 from the 10. Over the middle, and he has got Wallace Francis. Francis got away from Elmendorf and went to the 6-yard line, but that's still not enough. They have to get down to the 2.
Yeah, you know what? Francis is a real good runner after the catch. He breaks tackles. It's another delayed pattern. But he couldn't break loose from 2 men.
Tim Mazzetti is coming in to kick a field goal. Mazzetti has had a very tough year. Last year, Mazzetti kicked 13 out of 16, including 9 consecutively. This year, he is only 12 for 24. The spot will be by John James, and that'll be at about the 13-yard line. Low snap, no kick, a fumble. Kuykendall and the Rams, and it is picked up by the Rams. It is number 21, Nolan Cromwell, who finally came out of the pack with the ball. And Cromwell is inside the Falcon 35-yard line. And boy, are the Wolves all over Atlanta.
Well, first of all, the snap was a little bit low. Had to pick the snap up out of the ground.
Coming over is Kuykendall along with 1 Ram, and finally Cromwell picked it up, but they're calling the play back. There was a flag on the play.
The low snap by Paul Rising caused the fumble.
There will be a penalty. The Rams will take over. We're still waiting for the official clarification from Bob Frederick. So a poor snap from center after, remember, they had 1st and 10 on the Ram 11-yard line and couldn't get anything on the scoreboard. So in the early going of the first quarter, the Rams nothing and the Atlanta Falcons nothing. And remember, a Ram victory, and they've won the West.
Ford 79 countdown clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 Mustangs and pickups. $600 on LTD, over $1,000 on Heritage Thunderbirds. See your Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $600, and $1,000 better ideas.
And this is where we keep the Sony.
This is my wife. These are my kids. This is my Sony.
The difference between you and me, Perkins, is that you own a television. I own a Sony.
There's one television people are proud enough of to brag about. The only television with the patented one-gun, one-lens system that won an Emmy. There's only one Trinitron, and it's from Sony, the one and only.
I think Henry's getting serious. Last night he gave you Sony.
Rams get a big break, and they take over 1st and 10 on their own 13. The official ruling on that bad snap from center, the ball was illegally passed forward so that it was a dead ball, even though Cromwell picked it up and started a run. So the ball dead on the Ram 13, and that's where Ferragamo will put it in play. The Rams go slot left, and in motion is Wendell Tyler. Cullen Bryant trying to get outside Brazina, and Brazina wrestles him out of bounds. Out of bounds at the 18-yard line. So they pick up 5, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
Well, that last series, the Rams defense did their job. They held, they forced the Falcons to try a field goal attempt, and took the ball over for the offense. So the Falcons had a great opportunity. They came away with nothing.
Miami just scored. Bob Greasy to Nat Moore for 25-yard touchdown. Miami 7 and Detroit nothing in the first period. So it is 2nd and a long 5 for the Falcons. Here comes Wendell Tyler. Bryant missed the block on Easterling, and that ruined the play. Cullen Bryant was asked to handle Ray Easterling, number 32, but he missed him. And that jammed up the play on the far side of the field.
Ben, I like Ray Easterling. I think he does a heck of a job. He's one of the better safeties in the league. He's physical. He comes up and forces well, and he's got a lot of leadership qualities.
They missed him last year. Easterling suffered a dislocated elbow in the 2nd game of the season last year against Los Angeles. So he has come back to play his usual strong game. So it is 3rd down and 4 for the Rams. The ball on the Los Angeles 18-yard line, and no score. Ferragamo looking over the middle and going to Denard, and he's brought down by Bias on one side and Easterling by the other. Good catch by Preston Denard out to the 33-yard line, and a 1st down.
The Falcons are in a 4-man front to get a little more pass rush. No pass rush on the play. Vince looked the field over and hit Preston Denard for a big 1st down.
For Ferragamo, in his last 3 starts for the Rams, he has not completed 50% of his passes in any of those games. And, of course, he's trying to shape up that department in a hurry. 1st and 10 on the Ram 33. Here's Cullen Bryant, stacked up, and Fields hit him first at the 33, and he fell to the 35. When you give the ball to Cullen Bryant, you figure he's going to hold on to it. He has a streak going of 111 consecutive carries now without a fumble. The last time Cullen lost the ball was the 1st week in October at New Orleans.
Very good point, Ben. And if you notice the way he carries the ball, maybe the next time we'll see it. He has both hands over the ball. He protects the ball in a crowd. Then when he's in the open field, he'll take one hand off.
2nd and 9 on the Ram 34. No score. Denard left and Waddy right. Ferragamo gives to Tyler. He was actually in front of Hara, so he tried to come back, and he couldn't get very much. When you outrun your blocker, you're in a lot of trouble.
Wendell's a quick starter, and he's got that speed, and the play developed a little bit slowly. That's why Wendell cut back. Wendell's is really doing a good job. He's had some tough luck fumbling, and the only reason is that he carries the ball loose. And when he starts to put that ball away, he's an all-pro back because he can make the big play.
So it'll be 3rd and 6. The ball is on the Ram 37-yard line. Denard left and Smith right. Ferragamo down the middle, no good. And a flag on the play. Pridemore hitting the intended receiver, Terry Nelson, and the flag,
well,
and a penalty perhaps against Los Angeles.
You know what, Ferragamo won in a quick count here. The defense wasn't ready. Now Terry's running a stop pattern just enough to get the 1st down. The ball was a little bit late, knocked loose.
Ken Clark, who has tied a Ram punting record held by Danny Villanueva. Clark has punted 87 times this year. The penalty is refused, so Clark will be punting for number 88, most punts in Ram history. And Billy Rickman is deep on the Atlanta 25-yard line.
Rickman handles the ball well. He's a good punt returner, and Clark has a tendency then to kick line drives, balls that are returnable.
His longest punt, 60 yards, and he had 1 block. That was against Oakland. Clark has also passed twice this year. He's 2 for 2. Ken just did get it away. Flag on the play. Ray Strong crushed into Ken Clark, so you can forget the play. Ray Strong, number 25, in his haste to block the punt, knocked Clark flat, and the Rams will have the ball.
When we see this, the ball is kicked right underneath Ray Strong. Now watch him. Instead of going for the ball, he had no chance to block a punt that way. He went right for the kicker. You lay out about a foot in front of the ball, and that's how you block kicks. Bad technique by Strong. Costly penalty for the Falcons.
Ray Strong, 2 years out of Nevada, Las Vegas. He was hurt in the wild card game last year against Philadelphia. He had a knee injury. Boy, there was nothing wrong with him physically as he came flying in that
Running
time.
into the kicker on the defense, number 25. First down.
We get a report as you look at Lehman Bennett. Otis Anderson has just scored from 9 yards. The Cardinals leading the Giants 6-0. And the rookie rushing record of 1,450 yards has just been broken by Otis Anderson. He's rushed for 1,460. The ball is on the Ram 42, and Ferragamo under some heat throws it high, and Lawrence deflecting, and he's going to be guilty against Terry Nelson. Roland Lawrence guilty of a little extra action.
Well, it's a good first down play action pass. Terry's open. He has Lawrence beaten. And they rule interference on Lawrence. It was a close call. It could have been called either way.
Pass interference.
No.
On the defense.
Really?
Number 22.
Terry Nelson had no chance to catch the ball. The ball was going short and too far away from him.
So that turns out to be a 26-yard pass penalty. And he'll spot the ball at the 32-yard line of Atlanta, where it is 1st and 10. So the Rams getting 2 big breaks, roughing the kicker, and now the pass interference penalty. In motion is Wendell Tyler. Ferragamo flipping out to Bryant. Cullen Bryant with a good block by Saul as a flag on the play. And Bryant gets inside to the 25-yard line, but let's see. Kent Hill gesturing at a member of the Atlanta Falcons, Tom Pridemore. Evidently, Kent Hill clipped Pridemore on the block after Rich Saul had made a marvelous block to open up that side.
Well, that's a good call, too, by Ferragamo. It's the same play he ran before. It's a safe pass. It gives the quarterback confidence. You have a chance to pick up some yardage. Very safe play. You know, with the new clipping rule.
Clipping number 72 on the offense during the run after the completion.
Here it is right here.
Yeah, that's Kent Hill coming over, and there's Tom Pridemore, and there is the clip. As you see, it turned Pridemore out of it.
Hit him in the
good
back.
block is on the right by Rich Saul. So it is 1st and 25 for the Rams on the Atlanta 46. And Ferragamo trying to get a bunch of it in a hurry, and he's got Tyler open. Pennywell grabbing him at the waist and brings him out of bounds just about at the 35-yard line.
Going back to that clip, with the new clipping rule, where you have to start your block from in front. You can't touch a man in the back at all. Punt returns and kickoff return yardage has really gone down.
There's a no-no.
Yeah, well, that's something I never allowed my players to do, but it doesn't mean you can't win by sitting on your helmets. It was just a little discipline thing. If they were tired, I wanted them to go to one knee then.
Okay. 2nd and 13. The ball is on the Falcon 34. Ferragamo is going to be sacked. And I mean sacked by Don Smith, who is the first-round draft choice out of Miami. That's a kid who follows in the footsteps of Reuben Carter, Ted Hendricks, and Eddie Edwards. Watch him.
You know what? Nobody blocked him. Usually the great plays on defense, it's interesting, with the linemen are when nobody touches them. A trapper fails to block them, or they're not blocked on a pass. I really think Smith is doing a pretty good job. I think his best position then is inside rather than outside. I think he's more of a defensive tackle than a defensive end.
There's Bob Lee, who knows both sides of the coin down here in Atlanta, hollering encouragement out to Ferragamo and company. It is 3rd and 24 from the Atlanta 45. Ferragamo over the middle, and he's got Terry Nelson, and the big tight end goes out of bounds inside the 30-yard line at the 27. Ray Easterling, the first man to bump him.
Well, the Falcons haven't dogged, haven't blitzed much. They're known as a blitzing team. They're faking the dog, and laying back and rushing with 3 or 4 men.
John Riggins of Washington has just punched over from 7 yards out to even up that ball game. 7-7 with Cincinnati in the first quarter. Ray Malavasi seeing the Rams first lose the ball, then get 2 big breaks on a roughing the kicker and an interference, and Frank Corral out of a hole by Nolan Cromwell. The spot at the 36, so it's a 46-yard field goal attempt by Corral. The spot, the kick. And the kick is short and way off to the right.
Way to the right. No chance at all.
So Corral is now 11 for 23. His longest this year was 49, and this one wasn't close. So each side has had a chance, and they've both come away empty. No score.
Another super value from Sears. Save 47% on this Sears Craftsman 1-horsepower router with Permanex case and 1/4-inch bit included. It has a built-in work light and contour grip handles with trigger control for easy operation. Plus visual depth gauge for making accurate cuts. And Sears' variety of available accessories make it a versatile holiday gift. On sale now, just $49.99 at Sears, where America shops for value.
That's your dad? What's he doing?
Selling insurance.
Oh, what kind?
Nationwide.
Why?
Because he likes to sell good stuff.
Oh.
My mom's a nationwide agent, too.
Really?
He likes to help people.
Well, nationwide agents like to offer blanket protection for people's lives, health, homes, cars, businesses.
He cooks good hot dogs, too.
And they cook good hot dogs, too.
Nationwide is on your side.
Murray finally brings his Lady Brent home to meet Mama on Archie Bunker's place.
I know you. I'd like to drop this. Wait, Dad.
Oh, jeez. Tonight.
A somewhat frustrated Vince Ferragamo, who would like to get on the scoreboard early, but instead he has been thwarted, and that has to bother his confidence a little bit, George.
Yes. But he's doing a pretty good job. That sack wasn't his fault. It was a missed-blocking assignment, and that last field goal, there was a good snap and a good hole.
The line of scrimmage was the 28, so that's where Atlanta will put it in play. 1st and 10 on their own 28-yard line. No score. William Andrews will carry and come out of a crowd across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Elmendorf and Brzezinski there.
Well, I like this guy's running style. He's a quick starter, picks the hole, now he accelerates. He's got about 4.7 speed, but his strength is his start and his quickness.
Here's another thing you'd like about him. He has fumbled only 3 times this year. In fact, he and Mark Van Egan of Oakland are the only NFL running backs with 200 or more carries and only 3 fumbles.
And that's what they have to do. They have to run the ball enough so that the quarterback has time to throw. You aren't going to beat the Rams first down. You aren't going to beat the Rams on the ground, but you've got to be able to run the ball enough. The only chance the Falcons have, I think, is through the air.
So it is 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 38. Duck in the fact that Bob Thomas has just kicked a field goal, and the Bears are leading Green Bay 3-0 in the early going. So 1st and 10 on the 38, and Bartkowski's going to put it up. Maybe. Down he goes. Larry Brooks has him by the ankles at the bottom of the pile, and he was getting considerable pressure from Fred Dreyer and Jack Youngblood. Wendell Tyler taking a rest on the sideline. Of the telecast, at least for the moment. And just as quickly as we say that, the marvel of technology, they have fixed the problem.
Well, 2 plays ago when Bartkowski was sacked, he took too long to find the open receiver. Now he tried to run a draw on the Rams dog, which is a strong counter for the draw.
So So it is 3rd and 20 for Steve Bartkowski. He is struggling at the wheel for the moment. The Rams putting a lot of pressure on Atlanta. And there he goes, Jack Youngblood, who has now come up with his 15th sack. You know, the Rams are #1 in the NFC. They have 45 sacks.
Well, they do a heck of a job of playing the nickel and rushing the quarterback. They dogged on this. No chance. The Falcons have to do something on 1st and 10 to stay in the ball game against the Ram defense.
Atlanta had it 1st and 10 on the 28. It's now 4th and 29 on the 19. And so they look to John James to boot it out of there. He's one of the busiest punters in all of football. James punting it high, standing on the 40-yard line is Eddie Brown, going back to the 35, and he's dragged down as he goes up the left sideline, hit by Tom Moriarty.
Well, Eddie Brown has the chance to break the Ram record, Alvin Heyman's record, and break his own NFL record of 57.
Used to be when I had a job to do around the house, it was one-on-one. Me against the house. And since the house was much bigger, I usually lost. Well, I've just changed all that with my new Black & Decker Workmate. It'll hold just about anything I want to work on, from a door to a pipe to a 200-pound dresser. In fact, my Workmate is so good at helping me work, I'm giving it Sunday off.
Workmate's available from about $45. Melvin Stark, CPA, is about to break free. In Ford Mustang, a sports car for the 80s. Mustang performs and handles like a sports car. Precise, sure-footed, yet Mustang delivers the mileage of an economy car. Mustang, a sports car for the 80s.
Gal, we're stepping out tonight.
Melvin, is that you?
Yep. Yes.
Mike Fanning, Jack Youngblood, and Youngblood with 15 sacks, leading the Rams in that department individually. And the Atlanta Falconettes trying to cheer up a crowd that is somewhat downcast for the moment. Atlanta sputtering, missing a golden opportunity. 1st and 10 for the Rams on their own 45-yard line, and they go slot left. Waddy inside Denard. Tyler and Bryant. Wendell Tyler following Harris' block on Roland Lawrence, and he is out across midfield. Good block by Dennis Harra on Roland Lawrence to make the play work.
Yeah, well, they're running the left side of the Falcon defense twice now for good yardage. We'll see if they continue that. Actually, here's Jack Reynolds talking with Bud Carson, defensive coordinator. Actually, Eddie Brown needs 5 punt returns today to tie the NFL record.
2nd and 3 now for the Rams on the Atlanta 48-yard line. Out of the eye they come. Smith is wide right. And it's Wendell Tyler cutting back for the first down and then some. Inside the 45 and still on his feet is Tom Pridemore once again having to come up and make a tackle. It looks like the Rams can run all day as well as pass all day.
Yes, it does. The Falcons, as we mentioned, are 13th on total defense, 6th against the run and 14th against the pass. On that last play, it's a cutback, and that's the middle linebacker's responsibility not to overrun that cutback. If he pulls out of there too quickly, you got a big hole and a chance to make some yardage.
Oh, it's 1st and 10 on the Falcon 42-yard line for Ferragamo. He was thwarted once on a busted field goal attempt. Vince with plenty of time now. Over the middle to Denard. Denard at the 15 and scissored that as he falls to about the 14-yard line. Roland Lawrence and Rich Bias making the hit.
Ferragamo had so much time, it actually confused him. Look at the protection he has. Absolutely no rush. He looked over the entire field and found Preston Denard wide open. Falcons were playing a zone in there, playing it real soft, and that's why he was so loose.
Jeff Rutledge making a note of that 27-yard pickup for future reference. 1st and 10 just inside the 15-yard line. Wendell Tyler with Kent Hill blocking, and Tyler spun around at the 10 and picked up another yard or two on the far side of the field. Robert Pennywell, the man that made the hit.
Well, that's the third time they've run the Falcons left side. They're wiping it out. There's no penetration at all. I thought Wendell was going to score on that.
Another score. Pete Johnson has just scored from 1 yard out to give Cincinnati a 14-7 lead over Washington. And we can tell you Steve Little has kicked a 30-yard field goal, and the Cardinals are leading the Giants 9-0. Meanwhile, the first quarter is history here in Atlanta. With the Atlanta Falcons nothing, they missed a field goal. The Los Angeles Rams nothing, they missed one themselves.
Good. Now we can go to bed.
Well, wait a minute. I want to give you a gift for a balloon. It's something just for you.
A washer and dryer.
Now, come on, will you be serious? Okay. All right, close your eyes. Merry Christmas.
Give her a diamond. It's forever.
This Christmas, we're readier than ever to catch all the action with this brand new Kodak Extra Light camera. The built-in flip-out flash means you're always ready. Ready in a flash to get those sharp, clear pictures you might have missed. Catch all your Christmas fun with a Ready in a Flash Extra Light from those built-in flash people at Kodak.
Saturday, December 22nd, the CBS Sports Spectacular presents action on the ice and in the pool. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
The Atlanta Falcons being pushed around a little bit right now. Among other things, Jeff Yates is out of there. He's injured. Mike Lewis, number 69, is in there. And there is Don Smith, the rookie who did come up with a big sack a little bit earlier. But all of a sudden, the Rams now have it 2nd and 3, and the ball is on the Atlanta 7 at the start of the second quarter. No score. Bryant and Tyler, the running back. Waddy is right, Denard left, and Wendell Tyler grabbed by Don Smith and dropped at the 5-yard line.
Now that was I think it was Cullen Bryant did on that play. Yeah. Cullen Bryant. Look at 2 hands on that football. They're going for the ball, but they can't get it. That's the guy you want to carry the ball down there, the real safe ball carrier that's not going to cough it up.
Charlie Young has come in, so the Rams will go into a 2 tight end setup. It is 3rd down and a yard to go. The ball is on the Atlanta 5-yard line. Denard is on a wing outside Terry Nelson on the right side. Cullen Bryant bumping into people. Brazina decks him, and he didn't make the first down. I do not believe.
Well, they gave the ball to Bryant again, their sure runner, to get the yardage. Again, 2 hands on the ball. He had to veer and lose a little ground. They're going to measure it. Depends on where they spot the ball.
Brazina appeared to stack him up. However, we'll see on that last effort. It looked like he was inches short, and he is inches short. So that much. 4th down for the Rams, and Malavasi gesturing, go for it. So the way the Rams have been running the length of the field against the Falcons, this really isn't, or doesn't figure to be that much of a gamble.
Looks like they got about 2 inches to go.
4th and 1 on the Atlanta 5 against a defense that has given up over 400 yards 2 consecutive weeks. New Orleans and San Diego.
Big play here both ways. I'd give the ball to Cullen Bryant again.
Ferragamo.
Straight ahead.
Tight ends, Charlie Young and Terry Nelson. We'll see Tyler and Bryant. And it is Tyler, and he's not only got the first down, he's got a touchdown. Wendell Tyler just spurting through to score. Well, and the Rams leading 6-0.
Here it is. Ferragamo fakes the ball to Cullen Bryant, reverse spins and gives it to Wendell Tyler. Wendell goes over the top and scores.
Tyler's 8th rushing touchdown. He also has 1 touchdown by the pass route. So the Rams are leading 6-0. Frank Corral out of a hole by Nolan Cromwell, trying to make it 7. Corral has kicked 30 30 out of 33 points this year. It's good. Let's take another look at Wendell Tyler. A quick burst through the right side of the lineup where I think a lot of people were expecting Bryant to go. But there goes Tyler. It looked like he was going down. But then he just did get away. Robert Pennywell couldn't get him, and he's in the end zone for 6.
Introducing the first new truck of the 80s, the new Ford, the long-distance champ. It has the longest range of any truck in America. With a standard 19-gallon tank plus optional tank, you've got a 38-gallon capacity. That gives it an estimated range with optional overdrive of 722 miles based on EPA ratings. The estimated highway is 1,102 miles. More than one-third the length of America on one fill-up. Ford pickups, the longest range of any truck in America.
Not for 1 year, or even for 2, but for 3 years in a row. One 19-inch color TV has challenged America's biggest sellers, RCA and Zenith. And every year, independent surveys show the Sylvania Superset, the clear winner, the best overall color picture. Isn't it time you found out why Sylvania keeps winning and winning and winning? The Sylvania Superset. We may not be the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture.
At American, people are the difference. Last year, over 200,000 people applied here at the industry's first flight attendant college. And Vicki Getz is one of the few we accepted. We taught her to make your flight comfortable, reliable, and enjoyable. But we didn't have to teach her to be nice. We're American Airlines, and finding people like Vicki is one of the things we do best.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
With 13:59 left in the second quarter, the Rams leading the Falcons 7-0, and Frank Corral ready to kick, standing deep in the shadows. Ray Strong, the middleman, and he will handle the ball on the Atlanta 1. Strong to the 15, to the 20, stumbles, goes down at the 25, and Reggie Doss drilled him to make sure he didn't get up and try to go on. You know, Wendell Tyler this year fumbled 7 times, 3 of them on the goal line. So there might be those who would second-guess Wendell and Malavasi on that 4th and 1, but Tyler held on to the leather like that. It came into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, that's a little dangerous, but it's good to go to him. It doesn't break his confidence, and you're going to need him along the way, so you got to use both of your backs.
He's got confidence. When somebody accused him of fumbling, he said, all the great backs fumble.
Yeah.
1st and 10 on the Atlanta 24. Mike Fanning hit the ball carrier but couldn't hold him back, and they'll pick up a couple of yards on a good spurt by William Andrews. Another score, Benny Ricardo kicked a field goal for Detroit from 46 yards. So they're in the second quarter, Miami 14 and Detroit 3.
I thought the game plan, Ben, that the Falcons used against the Rams the first game in the Coliseum was a good one. And they're actually trying to establish that same game plan.
2nd and 7 on the 27. We'll have to ask you about that game plan, George, in just a moment. Haskell Standback gets away from Jim Youngblood, gets to the 30-yard line, but he has to get to the 34 for a first down. Larry Brooks made the tackle. George, you were talking about establishing the game plan. Exactly how do you look at it?
Well, their game plan was to run the ball first, establish the running game, run, use your screens and draws, straight ahead plays, nothing fancy, no gadgets, and throw second. Now they had June Jones at quarterback. They're trying to do the same thing, which should make them a little stronger with Bartkowski at quarterback.
3rd and 4 on the Atlanta 30-yard line. Well, Bartkowski's going to put it up, and he's got his man. That's Wallace Francis. At the 40, the ball is loose, picked up by Jeff Van Note, and he's inside the 45-yard line of Los Angeles. Jeff Van Note, make it Dave Van Note, 11 years out of Kentucky. Big play.
They ought to put a number on that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's what we call a whisk pass, the stop pattern by the back. It's a good call, possession type of call. Now the ball is jarred loose. Van Note picks it up, makes a pretty good run out of it. Eddie Brown makes the tackle.
So 1st and 10 on the Ram 45-yard line, and it's William Andrews up a yard or two at the most. It's tough to run against the Rams, that's for
yes,
sure.
Yes, it is. Not many teams are going to make a living running against them, but you got to run enough to keep them off of the quarterback.
Talking about a man who makes a living running, there is Lawrence McCutcheon.
Great.
One of the great ones.
Great back. Did you notice that last play, Ben, how quickly Andrew started? Boy, he comes out of the blocks. He was more of a blocker at Auburn. That's why he was drafted in the 3rd round.
He only carried the ball 70 times his senior year because he had a bad injury. 2nd and 7 on the Ram 42. Bartkowski has his man. It's the tight end Mitchell for the first down, and they knock him out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So Jim Mitchell all alone. Big play.
Mitchell is a good receiver and runs well with the ball after the catch. Let's watch Youngblood here. Good block by Andrews.
James Mayberry with Haskell stand back behind Steve Bartkowski. And it'll be Andrews, and he's to the 25-yard line. Jack Youngblood battling that head on to stack it up.
Well, here's Youngblood getting rid of the blocker, coming in, making the tackle. Jack uses his hands well, gets off on the ball. That's why he's a great pass rusher.
Andrews has rushed for only 12 yards in 5 carries against the Rams. It is 2nd and 8. The ball is on the Ram 26-yard line. It'll be Haskell stand back, and Osteen boxed him, but he got away from Osteen, and he picked up the first down.
You know, Haskell stand back is also a blocker. He's more of a blocker than a runner. But he showed a move here. Now watch this move by 24, Haskell stand back. See that little move? He got away from Osteen and cut back. He's a cutback runner. Good hard-nosed football player.
Larry Brooks finally had to get him after he did some number on Dwayne Osteen. Lynn Dickey has just passed for a touchdown. Green Bay leading the Bears 7-3. Here it is 1st and 10 Atlanta on the Rams 17. In motion is stand back. William Andrews. Andrews inside the 10 with Nolan Cromwell and Dave Elmendorf holding on for dear life.
You know, then when he's the only back in the backfield, the remaining back, stand back one in motion, you've got to defense him every time because he's dynamite from there. You almost have to play that formation as run and play down in distance. Defense him. That's what the Rams are going to have to do.
And they will measure for the first down. Ball is about on the 8-yard line. And it would appear as if he has inches for the first down, and it's so. So it is 2nd down and less than a yard for the Falcons. Remember, they started from their own 24-yard line. The biggest play, stand back, just busting one. And Lehman Bennett and the Atlanta Falcons, fresh from an upset victory over San Diego, and they have had a habit of beating contenders. 4 of their victories of their 5, they beat New Orleans, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, and San Diego. The other victory was against Green Bay. So Bennett trying to finish up the year on a high note. Next week they'll be playing San Francisco here. So 2nd down and inches for the Falcons to keep it alive. Stand back and Andrews out of the eye. And the Rams are moving. And Bartkowski got Larry Brooks. Larry Brooks, 8 years in the league. He tried to hold off and he couldn't do it. Watch now, there's Bartkowski. And there goes Larry Brooks right on the nose.
And you know what did it, Ben? It was his head movement. He also moved his shoulders. Now they'll call that on the offense many times. Let's watch number 10. Watch his head bob.
Number 90.
He bobs his head, and with the inflection of the voice, pulled Larry Brooks offside.
So it is 1st and goal on the Atlanta 4-yard line. 7-0 Rams.
tailback, stand back. Let Andrews block. They got two tight ends in there. Straight ahead. He tries to go over the top. Met by Jack Reynolds.
So second and goal on the Ram 2-yard line. Stand back and Andrews behind Bartkowski. Stand back trying to get outside. He's got a shot. He's got the touchdown. He got around Jim Youngblood, and that's all he needed.
He's stand back. Is an underrated football player. He can play fullback. He can play halfback. He can run inside. He showed there. Then he's got enough speed to go outside. Looked like he was going to be hit for a loss. He makes a little move here. Watch this. Just a little move, and then he turns it on.
Once he got by Jim Youngblood, there was no way for Cromwell or Reynolds to come over and get him. The stand back now picked up his third touchdown rushing of the year.
Let's watch this snap from center.
And the point, a very big one. The snap, the hold, the kick, no good. And for Mazzetti, he's having a terrible time. Mazzetti has missed field goals. He has missed point afters, and they have really laid the body at his doorstep now.
I tell you what he did. He hurried himself. There, he didn't have to hurry himself that much. He's pressing, Ben. That was a good snap and a good hold. No reason to miss that.
So the Rams escape an arrow, and they lead 7-6.
The best investments are often the hardest to find. You have to look and look. And no one else has our instinct to dig where there seems to be nothing and turn up valuable opportunities. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
Ford 79 countdown clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 Mustangs and pickups, $600 on LTD, over $1,000 on Heritage Thunderbirds. See your Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $600, and $1,000 better ideas.
Tim Mazzetti ready to kick off for the Falcons, who are a point behind, missing the point after touchdown. 7-6 Los Angeles with 8:31 left to the half. Mazzetti kicking deep, and it'll be Eddie Hill coming up at the 11-yard line. He's to the 20, across the 25, and is he ever hit by number 51, Cabral, who just joined the ball club. Brian Cabral was on injured reserve last year with a knee injury, and watch the first-year man really out of Colorado lower the boom.
Watch Eddie Hill's head snap back when he's hit by Cabell.
And while you're looking at that, here's a reminder. Start your Sunday evening with a brand-new edition of 60 Minutes. Enjoy a round of comedy at Archie Bunker's Place, Alice, the Jeffersons, all topped off with Trapper John M.D. That's on CBS tonight. 1st and 10 Rams on the Los Angeles 27. Bryant and Tyler, the running backs. Waddy goes wide right, and here goes Cullen Bryant. Bryant stacked up at the 30-yard line and pushed backwards. Robert Pennywell, the first man to make contact.
St. Louis is now leading the Giants 12-0. 25-yard field goal by Steve Little.
There's Brian Cabral, C-A-B-R-A-L, out of Colorado. They really think he's going to be a dandy, and after watching that hit on the kickoff, you get the idea.
He looks very physical. Here's Bud Carson with his defense together. That last drive, they're going over what happened, what they want to do to counter it.
2nd and 4 on the Ram 33. Ron Smith in motion to the right, and it's Wendell Tyler, and he's out deep into the secondary where Pridemore hit him head on at the 40-yard line, and he fell forward to the 41 for a first down. Tyler figures to have a very big day today.
Yes.
He's already rushed for over 60 yards for 10 carries. Bud Carson, one of a quartet somewhat returning home. He coached here at Georgia Tech.
Yes.
Kent Hill and Drew Hill and Joe Harris also went to school at Georgia Tech.
I've always liked Georgia Tech players, Ben. They seem to be well-disciplined and solid citizens.
First and 10. The ball just across the 40-yard line. Ferragamo has had some success in the air, so he'll try it again, and all alone is Denard, and he goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line of Atlanta.
Now, just at this stage of the game, it looks like Ferragamo's going to have the time to throw if they don't dog, and that the Falcons' defense is very, very vulnerable. The pass defense. They're doing a fair job of stopping the Rams' running game, but when Ferragamo has thrown the ball, plenty of openings, plenty of seams, and a very little pass rush.
So he picked up the first down on the Atlanta 40-yard line. In motion is Smith. Second man, Wendell Tyler, and he's hit by Greg Brazina behind the line of scrimmage. And a flag on the play.
Brazina dogged on that. Made a good play. Watch him come in.
We might mention he's played in his 150th game last week. Only the second Atlanta player to ever reach that plateau. In fact, he's the only player to play under every Atlanta coach. Greg Brazina out of Houston.
They call that a late hit, Vin.
Here's the announcement.
Personal foul, number 65 on the defense. Late hit.
That's the rookie Don Smith, who was the first-round draft choice. His dad played baseball for the Orioles, so there's athletes in the family.
It was a good call because he was down on the ground and he hit him. Good call by the official.
So Jack Youngblood and Jim Youngblood having a respite. It's first and 10 on the Falcon 25-yard line for Ferragamo as they go slot left. Waddy inside Denard. Play action fake to Tyler, and Ferragamo deep. All alone is Waddy. All alone.
Well, that's what we said earlier, Ben. It looks like he can throw just about at will against that defense. There was, again, no rush. A good play action fake. Watch the fake. Faking to the left side where they had been running. Looking to field over a nice lob pass, wide open. Nobody near him. Nobody within 7 yards of him.
For Waddy, his third touchdown catch of the year. And the Rams now leading 13-6. And it'll be up to Frank Corral to round it off at 14. Time left in the half, 6 minutes and 39 seconds. The Rams have won 3 straight, each by exactly 6 points. So they've been shaving them close. The spot by Cromwell, and the kick is up and good. So with 6.5 minutes left to the half, it's the Rams trying to win the NFC West for the 7th time. It's Billy Waddy who has made a big contribution. And the Rams 14, Atlanta 6, 6:39 left in the half.
Gentlemen, tonight we're brought together here by 2 teams we all love. Good food and light beer from Miller. I want to take this opportunity myself to tell you. I don't get no respect.
Gaston, je dis saignant. Ici, elle est pas saignante. What is it?
Meatloaf sandwich and a light. Gentlemen, we all know and appreciate Light has 1/3 less calories than a regular beer, and it's less filling.
But the best thing is it tastes great.
Less filling. Gentlemen.
Hey, Deacon, pass the roll. Hey, Charlie, that's my beer.
No, yours is by your bro.
No, this is my broth. That's my beer.
What's wrong with you guys?
Hey, Bubba, you want the peas?
Ooh, you gonna eat all that?
Just showing off.
Gentlemen, in closing, I'd like to think I speak for all of us when I say if it wasn't for Light, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Hey, you're postponed.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Coming next, it's the exciting Mixed Team Golf Championship with top female and male pros competing. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
There's Doug Shively, the defensive coach for the Falcons. Boy, he's got a sack full of problems. The Rams are leading 14-6. Ferragamo is 7 for 9. Strong from 1 yard in. Takes it to the 10, 15, to the 20, and he'll get to the 21, and that's it. So Ray Strong brings it out to the 21, and that's where Atlanta will put it in play. There's Vince Ferragamo, 7 for 9, 118 yards, and 1 touchdown. He was intercepted once on a bobble out of the hands of Ron Smith and picked off by Roland Lawrence.
He's done a good job today. I think what we can look for is the Falcons are going to have to start blitzing. He has too much time to throw.
First and 10 for Atlanta on their own 21-yard line. Steve Bartkowski, who has not beaten the Rams, as Wallace Francis go left, Alfred Jenkins go right. And it'll be the second man. That Stanback spurts out quickly across the 25 to the 27-yard line. So Stanback picks up a bunch before Jack Reynolds makes the tackle.
Well, they're doing a pretty good job on 1st and 10 running the football. Chicago 6, Green Bay 7 in a big game for the Bears.
Kent Hill talking to Doug France. They're carrying big loads up front against Atlanta and opening up some big holes. At the same time giving Ferragamo all day to throw. So it is 2nd and 4 on the Atlanta 27. Here comes William Andrews, and he's going to be about a yard shy of the first down as he got out to the 30-yard line. There is Fields, along with the rest of the Atlanta defensive squad, listening to Doug Shively. Somehow or other, they're going to have to shore up some holes that would sink the Queen Mary.
Well, they blew a coverage there. There's no question about it. They're trying to get it straightened out. Here's a big down.
3rd and 1 on the 30-yard line. And it will be the second man Stanback, and he has the first down. A little extra burst. And he did that on his own. They appeared to have him stopped, but he moved through.
Well, here's the short yardage, 3rd and 1. Good block by Andrews. Stanback going straight ahead. Picks it up on his own, spinning, fighting for extra yardage.
Player injured for the moment, and they tell us it is Scott, Dave Scott. We can duck in the fact that Joe Theismann just passed to Clarence Harmon for a 7-yard touchdown to tie it up at 14-all, Washington and Cincinnati.
Water, Delco Freedom Batteries. At participating outlets, when you see the Delco Freedom Battery sale poster.
Thanks, Delco!
What to give a pain in the neck for Christmas? Well, nice hot water and massage are well-known soothers of muscular aches and pains. Therefore, the makers of the best-selling pulsating shower head suggest the Shower Massage by Waterpick. But if no one on your list has an occasional pain, surely you know someone who could stand some good, clean fun.
Give the original comfort and joy. The Shower Massage by Waterpick.
Hi, I'm Phil Sims of the New York Giants. I'm here to talk to you on a very critical subject, energy conservation. This winter, think twice when you set your thermostat. Energy, you can't afford to waste it.
Dave Scott, about as big a man as you'll find down on the field. He weighs in at 285, was shaken up on that last play. The preceding announcement furnishes a public service by the National Football League. The Falcons have it 1st and 10. Pat Howell, the rookie out of USC, is in there for Scott. Bartkowski getting away from Brooks, throws it to Jim Youngblood. And Youngblood is off to the races.
Well, Ben, Bartkowski made the mistake of a rookie quarterback. He shouldn't. First of all, he was rushed. He wanted to throw to the left side. Now watch this play action. Now he's rushed right here. Now he throws against the grain. Bad mistake on his part.
That's 17 plus 1. That makes it 17 interceptions for Bartkowski.
You don't put the ball up for grabs unless you know what you're doing. That's the mistake of a rookie quarterback.
And of course, Bartkowski has had 4 years. First-round draft choice back in '75. So it is 20-6 in favor of the Rams, who might very well have a cakewalk if this keeps up. And the kick by Corral is right on the button. And with 4 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the half, the Rams sitting on top of a 20-1-6 lead, thanks to the interception and a 34-yard scamper by Jim Youngblood for the touchdown.
Introducing the best gas mileage ratings of any mid-size wagon.
Aren't you glad you bought a Fairmont? The right idea for today.
In Introducing the biggest cargo area of any mid-size wagon built in America.
Aren't you glad you bought a Fairmont?
Introducing the lowest sticker price of any mid-size wagon. The 1980 Ford Fairmont wagons got it all.
Aren't you glad you bought a Fairmont?
Glad. Glad. Glad.
The right idea for today.
We're not exactly alike. I'm wearing JCPenney plain pockets jeans, and I'm wearing the world's best-selling jeans. My jeans are made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. And mine have this fancy stitching on the back pocket.
But plain pockets only cost you $12.
JCPenney plain pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price. I'll buy lunch.
On Saturday, December 22nd, the CBS Sports Spectacular features the Graceful Super Skates, plus the Pacific Synchronized Swimming Championships. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
The anatomy of a touchdown. You saw Dave Scott hurt. This is his replacement, Pat Howell, the rookie out of SC. He could not contain Larry Brooks, who ran over him. That forced Bratkowski to throw under fire, and he threw it to Jim Youngblood for the touchdown. But it all goes back to the fact that Dave Scott was injured, and Brooks overpowered Howell.
Exactly.
A knuckleball kick is fielded by Mayberry, and he's across the 27-yard line. Andrews hit him, and there's a flag on the play. George Andrews, a quick hit on Mayberry, and let's see the interpretation of the flag. 21-7 Rams, 4:27 left in the half. And make it 21-6. We forgot they blew the point after.
Well, the Falcons look like they're coming apart here a little bit. Here's the kickoff, short kickoff to Mayberry. Good play by George Andrews.
Number 58 on the kick return team. First down.
Any contact from the rear is clipping under the new rule, and that's one of the reasons we don't have the kickoff return yardage we've had in other years.
It's a rookie, Joel Williams, who is guilty of the infraction. 4:27 left of the half. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. The ball on their 12-yard line. And Andrews runs into Bob Brzezinski, end of story. He's wrapped him up right there at the line of scrimmage.
Well, what's taking place right now is the Falcon fans are getting on the ball cup a little bit. They've fallen behind. It started with the missed extra point. We talked at the top of the show that this was a character game, a character test for the Falcons. This is it right now.
So it is 2nd and 11 on the 11th. Of course, the Rams administered the worst Atlanta defeat in their history, 59-0, just a couple of years ago. And the Rams leading 21-6 here with a couple of minutes left of the half. And a loose ball picked up by Nolan Cromwell. And the route could be on now as Cromwell recovers the fumble at the 16-yard line. And for Lehman Bennett, he'll throw that gum away any minute.
Also at the top of the show, we mentioned that the Falcons upset San Diego. Here's a lead draw.
That's a story for Andrews to fumble. Remember, he had fumbled only 3 times this year, and the ball squirted loose.
Jack Reynolds jarred the ball loose, number 64.
So Nolan Cromwell right on the ball again. Remember, Nolan scored that dramatic touchdown to beat Minnesota last week, coming out of what appeared to be a field goal formation. And now he recovers a fumble, and the Rams trying to put Atlanta away now. They have it 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 16. In motion is Billy Waddy. Wendell Tyler with a block by Cullen Bryant, but there are too many red shirts, and down he goes.
Yeah. Well, in this league, you can't make mistakes like the Falcons are making and expect to win. They've made enough mistakes in this first half for 3 or 4 weeks. If the Rams score here, it's practically over.
So it is 2nd and 10 from the 16. Ray Malavasi would just as soon work in the sunshine next week and get ready rather than have it be a do-or-die game with New Orleans. Wendell Tyler, and he is down to the 10. I was just thinking, it's just as well that New Orleans didn't show this game. Remember the story that they were going to show it in the Superdome, and they decided not to.
That would have been a mistake, because you have to play the game that you're playing and not be thinking about other scores. You have to do your job. The Falcons are kind of emotionless, not much intensity.
The ball is on the 10-yard line. The Rams with a 3rd and 4, and the Rams leading 21-6 with 2:34 left of the half. Denard goes wide left and Waddy right. And the running backs, Tyler and Bryant. Ferragamo on a draw to Bryant, and the big man is almost to the first down. Pennywell and Kuykendall hit him, and they might have to measure. It's awfully close. For the Rams, Ferragamo 7 for 9 in passing. Tyler has rushed for over 68 yards for the moment. Frank Corral, who has already kicked a couple of points. Bryant has rushed for 20 yards. And once again, inches to go. The Rams, remember earlier, 4th and inches, and Tyler went all the way for a touchdown. They bring in Charlie Young for Billy Waddy, so they're going to go for it with 2 tight ends. 21-6 Los Angeles, 2:14 to the half.
Well, you can see why the Falcons are 14th versus the pass and 13th on total defense.
They really miss Jeff Yates, who's been banged up. He replaced Claude Humphrey, but he's been unable to play of late. So the 4th down play for Ferragamo. And we've come to the 2-minute warning here in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. It has been all Los Angeles up to here with 2 minutes left in the half. The Rams 21 and the Atlanta Falcons 6.
If keeping up with your car is getting you down, fight back with STP. STP gas treatment fights to keep your carburetor clean, and that can help keep your engine running like it ought to. Try STP oil treatment. A recent test with older cars that use a lot of oil proved it reduced oil consumption an average of nearly 15% in those cars. Come on, fight back with STP.
Radio Shack is having a tremendous hi-fi speaker sale. Save 50% on this realistic Nova speaker. Sale price $39.95. You can buy 2 for the price of 1 during this remarkable sale. Nova speakers, designed and engineered by Radio Shack to faithfully reproduce true high-fidelity sound, enclosed in an all-wood cabinet and backed by over 6,000 Radio Shack locations. The sale-priced realistic Nova speaker.
Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
The Rams leading Atlanta 21-6 with 2 minutes left of the half. We'd like to remind you, Monday night on CBS, celebrated Charlie Brown Christmas. Join Raggedy Ann and Andy in the great Santa Claus caper. And then an hour of great comedy with MASH, and it ends with WKRP in Cincinnati. And Ed Asner's Lou Grant on CBS Monday night.
Then the last time in this situation, they faked the ball to 32, Colin Bryant, and gave it to Wendell. Let's see what they do.
4th down and inches for the Rams. The ball is on the Falcons' 7-yard line. A full house backfield. Now McCutcheon is in there along with Bryant and Tyler. Wendell Tyler. And they trip him up as he falls forward, and he made his first down, that's for sure. He's inside the 5.
Well, they have a tray backfield, 3 men in the backfield. All this is power football. 2 backs leading the play for Wendell, and he cuts back and gets the first down.
So 1st and goal on the Atlanta 4. Pretty good block, although it wasn't that necessary. Lawrence McCutcheon just took Roland Lawrence and pushed him out of the way. Tyler getting inside the 5. 1st and goal from the 4. We have a minute and 33 to go to the half. And the Rams take a timeout as Vince Ferragamo goes over and talks to Ray Malavasi. For New Orleans, of course, it's a very tough way for the Saints to take the field. They're an hour after the Ram game, and they already know the Rams are sitting on top of at least a 21-6 lead, and they might be able to add to that before the half is over.
Used to be when I had a job to do around the house, it was one-on-one. Me against the house. And since the house was much bigger, I usually lost. Well, I've just changed all that with my new Black & Decker Workmate. It'll hold just about anything I want to work on, from a door to a pipe to a 200-pound dresser. In fact, my Workmate is so good at helping me work, I'm giving it Sunday off.
Workmates available from about $45.
With the Rams leading Atlanta 21-6, we have 1:33 to the half. The Rams have it first and goal on the 4. The Rams scoring on a touchdown to Billy Waddy. It took him a little while to get going. They also had Jim Youngblood just carry one in for an interception. Wendell Tyler scored. And for Atlanta, Haskell Stanback punched over for their only scores. So it's first and goal from the 4. Tyler and Bryant behind Ferragamo. 2 tight ends, that's Nelson and Young. Cullen Bryant sees a hole in the end zone. So for Bryant, his 5th rushing touchdown, and it's a cakewalk for the Rams, at least for the half.
Well, the Falcon mistakes. Here's Cullen Bryant bouncing outside, finds a hole. Everybody was closing down to the inside, to the left. Here it is again from the end zone.
So the Rams pick up 2 quick touchdowns, one on an interception by Jim Youngblood, the other after they recover the fumble. And now Frank Corral trying to make it 28-6. Cromwell holding, the spot, the kick, and it's through. So the Rams are sitting on top of a 28-6 lead with 1:30 to go to the half, and Lehman Bennett really has a job of trying somehow to get the Atlanta Falcons off the ground. Their tail feathers have really been pulled, and we still have plenty left. Next week, the Rams will be playing New Orleans. Atlanta will be playing San Francisco. And, of course, for the Rams, if they win today, their game next week is just exercise.
They're in. All they have to do for the rest of this ball game now, from the Rams standpoint, is keep the clock going. Don't take any foolish chances. Run more than you pass. Play good defense, and they've won their 7th straight divisional title.
So 28-7 Los Angeles with 1:30 to go to the half. I keep saying 7 because for some reason you expect the pros to make it. It's 28-6.
Missing an extra point is automatic.
So Frank Corral will be kicking off from the 35, and the Falcons with Ray Strong deep, and he'll take it at his 7-yard line out to the 20. And Andrews, who makes some great tackles on the special team, and Georgia first-round draft choice made another. The ball club very much alive, and they have to play Dallas next week. Washington leading Cincinnati 21-14 in the second quarter.
Now, in this situation, the coach has to make a decision. Do you want to go with your 2-minute drill from the 26-yard line, or do you want to go with your regular offense?
First and 10 on the Atlanta 26. The Falcons go slot right. Both backs go out, so Bartkowski on his own has his man Wallace Francis, but he pays the price. Jack Reynolds eats him up at the 33-yard line.
I like Wallace Francis. He's a good receiver. He runs very well with the ball after the catch.
Atlanta battling the clock now with 1:03 and counting. And it is 2nd and 3 on the 33. Oh, was Jack Youngblood offside? He's going to get a sack, but I'm sure he's going to also pay 5 yards.
When that happens, he's guessing. They're just guessing. The ball's been snapped on, we'll say it's a count of 2, so the defensive end takes off.
In their territory, leading by 22 points with 55 seconds. What a great time to guess.
Yes.
You talk about playing with house money. So Jack Youngblood loses the gamble. Atlanta will get the first down. And with 55 seconds, trying to come up with a touchdown. And Youngblood looked a little sheepish that way, going back to the lineup. So first and 10, the ball on the Atlanta 38-yard line. The backs again go out. Over the middle to Andrews, and he goes down underneath the other Andrews.
Well, the Rams are rushing with just 3 men and covering with 8. They're playing deep. They don't want to give up a cheap score.
So they'll call time with the ball at the Atlanta 44-yard line. Cullen Bryant talking to Lawrence McCutcheon and Billy Waddy on the Rams sideline. Bryant just recently hammering over for his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. It has been all Rams this first half. However, we've seen some strange turnabouts, and there's still an awful lot of football to go.
Well, what the Falcons do right here, if they could just even get 3 points here, will do wonders for them at halftime. Their mistakes have put them in the hole. It hasn't been that the Rams are playing so well. Mistakes by the Falcons offense and defense, blowing coverages, throwing interceptions. By the way, the Ram linebackers have had a fine year. Brzezinski, Reynolds, Youngblood, and the linebacker coach is Frank Lauterbach. He's done an excellent job with those.
The Rams were ripped apart by so many injuries earlier, but they are now actually getting better week by week, and it could very well be a complete turnabout for this ball club as they go into the playoffs, perhaps stronger than they have been since the opening weeks of the season.
Now's the time you want it.
Of course, at the same time, they are without their first-string quarterback and without an all-pro cornerback in Pat Thomas. Bartkowski going deep down the left side through the hands of Rod Perry. He almost had the interception. The pass intended for Alfred Jenkins. So Perry is coming back, and that's important.
Perry's a good defensive back. You might think you could pick on Rod Perry because he's small, but he can jump. He's got tremendous flexibility. He's got good hands. Doesn't make mistakes. He's an all-pro cornerback in my book.
We mentioned Pat Thomas. He is far away from playing. In fact, he didn't make the trip to Atlanta. So it is 3rd and 4 on the Atlanta 44. Bartkowski over the middle, and it's juggled and dropped by Haskell Standback. Standback didn't turn and get that shoulder out of the way. He tried to catch it right on the shoulder, and he couldn't control it.
Could be the sun bothered him also, but that's the good call. He made the call to get the first down. Get the first down, keep the clock going.
Well, it's 4th and 4 with 35 seconds. Would you gamble, George?
I think in this situation, you have to. You have nothing to lose. You're out of the playoffs, and take a chance. Get the first down again here. Don't go for the home run. Get the first down.
Jackson and Francis are right. Jenkins is left. So 3 wide receivers in there. And Bartkowski under a rush and goes across to Standback for the first down across midfield. With 26 seconds, we're waiting for time to be called, and it's called.
And that was a good call. It was a check cross by Standback, an underneath pattern to get the first down.
Bartkowski going over to huddle with Lehman Bennett with 26 seconds to the half. 28-6 in favor of the Rams. More football coming up. Bowl games. First of all, the Sun Bowl, Washington and Texas, December 22nd. The Blue-Gray game on Christmas Day, followed by the Peach Bowl, Clemson and Baylor on December 31st. On New Year's Day, the Cotton Bowl, Houston versus Nebraska. On January 5th, East-West Shrine game. And on January 12th, the Senior Bowl. A great college football here on CBS along with the NFL. And you can see Bartkowski huddling now with June Jones and Lehman Bennett, trying to come up with a little magic with 26 seconds to the half.
He's got to go for one big play in here somewhere. Try to hit the bomb or hit a long gainer, because time is against them to just throw possession passes.
So it's 1st and 10 on the Ram 48. On that last play at Jenkins, Francis, and Jackson. And he has the same trio now as they try and go deep with time running out to the half. Both backs released, so he's on his own. Guns it off the hands of Jack Reynolds, fell in front of a diving Nolan Cromwell. It was intended for Alfred Jenkins.
You know, this is interesting. The Rams are putting pretty good pressure with a 3-man rush. Their defensive line does a heck of a job. That's the strength of their defense. Those rushmen. And they can, if you can get by rushing 3 men, covering with 8, and have your linebackers drop that deep, that deep, it's tough for a quarterback to get anything in.
By the way, Alfred Jenkins, the intended receiver, hasn't caught a ball yet, and he's caught at least one pass in 55 consecutive games. Bartkowski is 7 for 12 for 61 yards. He's thrown one interception for a touchdown. Youngblood can't get at him, and he can find Wallace Francis. Cromwell brings him down at the 35, and they're going to call immediate timeout with 10 seconds on the clock to the half.
That's their last timeout. No more timeouts remaining.
Well, there's not much time left either at 10, and we'll see Bartkowski's roll of the dice. First and 10.
That's too far for Mazzetti. They got to get it in closer for a field goal. They got to go for an out-of-bounds play to stop the clock, or throw it deep in the end zone, hoping for a touchdown or a penalty or a tip ball, something like that.
Bartkowski last week at San Diego had 3 touchdown passes to give him a career high of 16. Back in 1975, he had 13 as a rookie. Tim Mazzetti's longest field goal of the year is 48 yards. So they still really haven't gotten into his area yet. Atlanta having used all of its timeouts, and with 10 seconds to the half, the Rams 28 and Atlanta 6. But the only thing the folks have had to talk about so far today is the weather. It has been beautiful. Not a cloud in the sky, bright sunshine, and you can call this Ram weather.
Yes,
so far today.
Perfect football weather. Let's see what he does there.
Ball on the Ram 34-yard line. First and 10 for Bartkowski. He sends Francis and Jackson left, Jenkins the other way. Andrews staying in to block. That gives him a little extra time. Intercepted by Nolan Cromwell. And Cromwell looked like Willie Mays making an outstanding catch, and he'll get out across the 30-yard line. Clock will have run out. What a great leaping catch by Nolan Cromwell.
No chance to get that ball in there. Here it is. Pretty good protection. Tries to throw it into the end zone. Now watch Nolan Cromwell go up for that ball. He was covered inside, outside on the play. No chance to get that ball in.
So Nolan Cromwell picks it off, so that even puts a Ram flavor on the last play of the first half. It has been basically all Los Angeles. The Rams 28, Atlanta 6, and of course the Falcons compounding their problems with their own mistakes. A touchdown by Jim Youngblood on an interception, and another Ram touchdown after they capitalized on a fumble by William Andrews, who had fumbled only 3 times all year. It has been that kind of a half. So the Rams need one more half of good football to win the NFC West for the 7th year in a row. They lead 28-6.